Runa,
All right.
Lily, you chose workplace dating and relationships.
I did. Because funny story, my boyfriend and I met at work and we kept our relationship for a secret for a year. Not because he was administrative, because he was admin, but he was admin for the shop, not for myself. But we just didn't want everybody at work to like be in our business. So we just didn't tell anyone and acted normal when we were at work. And we did that for almost a year before we decided to let everybody know that we were together. And then, because he was the mechanic shop, there were some people that were like, oh, uh, Amanda's going to get favors. She's going to get the best bus. He's going to work on her bus before he works on anybody else. And that's actually not what had happened. I think he was more strict on me with things than he was anybody else. So I think it
Really?
just kind of, yeah, and I think it just depends on where you work, what your policies are. Uh,
Mm.
it was fine for us, but I think if he was my actual admin, then we would have had to go to HR and ask permission, but we didn't have to. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Workplace relationship is something which is very difficult, especially when you are working with someone, my dear. And to make matters worse, if he's above you all, darling, there are conflicts, true. People will
yeah,
start saying that you're the favorite. Hmm? Everything you're the one now you're the one, you can't do this because the boss is the one who is conning you, or you are in a relationship with a boss. There is how anyway they treat you if they come to know. And I think I was wondering how you managed to keep a relationship for that long. Yeah. For me,
it
what I
was,
know, if I love you
it
will
was,
all will know.
it was difficult just because like I wanted to go give him a hug or go tell him something and I just stayed away from him and I used to go hang out and talk and do all that stuff with him. So I still did that, but I just made sure that I didn't look at him differently, I guess, you could always tell by the way that they look at each other. So it was kind of hard. People figured it
Mm.
out though. So
Jealousy. How about jealousy when he's talking to other female workmates?
Oh, I didn't care. We don't have that type of
Eh,
relationship. It doesn't bother me. He has to talk
eh,
to women all day long. So,
mm.
yeah.
Okay, sometimes anyway, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it has the worst experience.
hmm
It needs to be managed professionally.
Yeah, it's hard
Mm,
sometimes.
yeah. Runa.
Yeah, I I would like I am remember one experience, one relative near experience about it. I was a country sales manager of one company, but we had a big customer in Chihuahua State. So Serviproa was a company, was a society with three guys, uh, Hugo and Michael and Alfredo. But Hugo passed away. Mm, Hugo was my same age, but he passed away. So I hired one guy to help me with some areas in Mexico. So I assigned it to Arturo to attend to Serviproa. Arturo was divorced. Sorry, Arturo was divorced recently, and he knows to Paola, the Hugo's wife. So they fallen in love, and finally they were married, and it was a big conflict in the company. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of trouble with that. First one, because the price list, for example, as is confidential for us, it will be available for Paola, one member of the society in Serviproa. So finally, in resume, finally, we need to fire to Arturo because it was a policy in the company that it is a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Conflict
but
of
he
interest.
never understand this policy. Yeah, and then Paola lost her society with Serviproa because the other partners were very angry for this situation because the confidentiality was not keep uh, between them. Uh, so it was a big mistake to keep to Arturo in the company for for a few months. I think so. We should to fire immediately to Arturo, but
Mm-hmm.
we could avoid many conflicts in the company cause this situation. So I
Mm-hmm.
think so when many things are uh, very heavy in the companies where this kind of situation happened.
Mm-hmm. And when I read about the other, was it divorce? What we were told to read, divorce in the company. When they talked about not as in interfering, not as in making yourself aware that Oba telling them, I've ever been in that situation, you can do this, you can do this, not advising them. For that, I was not aware that it was dangerous. But when you talk about that when someone is passing through something, and like you have as in some knowledge about it, let's say divorce. When you say that, like you've had Atulo, you have experience about divorce in workplace, like those guys you were talking about. If another worker like in your company comes again having the same issue of about divorce, when I read and they were emphasizing that it's not good for the boss or the human resource officer to start, I have ever been in that situation. I know what you're going through. I think the reason behind that, I was like, it's true. If you tell someone that I've ever been in that situation, and someone will forever, as in, will keep on coming to you, and they will not even work, saying that even the boss has ever been in this situation, maybe it was the same thing. I think it will affect work and productivity because of what should I call it? They get used to you, to know that I will tell the boss, and the boss has ever been in the same situation, even though I don't go to work. I think even him didn't over her didn't go to work in this particular situation. I learned that in the reading, that I think it's not good to interfere. Better to direct to a profession or about counseling counselors to counsel them instead of you pretending, not even pretending, knowing the situation, they can get used to you and start, will dodge work because of that. Hopefully you understood me, Runa and Lily.
Okay.
Uh, Now I wanted to talk about the experience of balancing a home and work life. Like me, guys, it's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy at all. Me, I'm working somewhere and I have a side hustle or a side business I'm running, selling drinks, juicy, sodas, water, energy drinks, things of that kind. And I'm a single mom. I have a kid. But sometimes, guys, remember I also study. Sometimes it's very difficult to balance all those things, even though you try. Hmm? First of all, you have other social activities you have to be in. I'm a church leader. I'm a youth leader. Time reach when they need you at work, you have to be present at work. You have to work upon the assignments. At home, this is not going on well. You have to do this, you have to do that. Shows, you have to clean, you have to go to the side also to see how it is working. But then sometimes it's very, very difficult and stressful, guys. I think it needs commitment. Is it commitment? Because for me, my problem, sometimes I even get sick because of fatigue. You don't rest enough. You're thinking about this, you're thinking about that. Now the problem comes at work. You have to work 8 hours a day. You reach at work, you're tired, you're dozing. They're asking for this, they're asking for that. Sometimes you fail to be productive at work, but that is because starting from home, you have to wake up very early in the morning. You prepare the child to go to school. You have to be at work in time. You have to go to church. Anyone with experience about work and workplace and home balancing, for me, it's taking me away sometimes. But anyway, we are managing.
I'm right with you. I work as a bus driver. It was a little bit easier to be able to come home on my break and, get dinner ready and get the house clean. But I got off work at 4:30ish, and my daughter had to be in the next town over for gymnastics or the next town
Mm.
over for soccer. And then my son had to be down the next town over for Boy Scouts. And my husband never did anything. He never helped. So was not a single mom, but I felt like one because I was trying to shuffle on where to get my kids, to
Mm.
where they need to be. And and then, work. And I also worked 2 jobs. So it's
Ah.
hard. It's
Mhm.
hard. Even now my kids are grown and I feel like I still work 2 jobs and go into school, and it's hard, but it will be worth it by the end. By the time we're graduated from college, it will be worth it for all of us.
Mhm,
So,
mhm. Very true. Hmm. Runa, for you, you're managing. You have a family. Lily, most of
Um,
the time, ladies are the ones who are very, very tiring. You're the one doing this, you're the one doing that. The man is just there. You go for work, come back, everything is ready.
uh, okay. First, my admiration for you, Amanda and Esther, for the job that you are doing with your family, trying to balance the job, family, the calling in the church, or whatever, or your kids, and your condition. So it is hard. I know. Uh, a few months ago, we were happening for bad economic situation in home. My wife had to go out to because he has one good employee. So I was in charge of my children, the job, the school, the calling. So I know how you feel in many aspects. I know is your job is hard. I
Mm,
can understand that, and I think so. Independently of the topic of the subject of the school of this week, but I think so that the only way that we can to find a balance in our life is through the prayer to our Heavenly Father and to ask help
mm,
all time. I know that. So
mm.
I know it's hard. Sometimes it's you want to cry or to do something like this. But
Mhm,
but our Heavenly Father understands us. Jesus Christ understands us. Uh, he knows our situation and he is willing to help us in our situation, whatever that it is. Uh, but um, the balance in the job and the personal life and it's very important to try to keep in mind because all these things affect to our performance in our job.
mm,
So it's important to keep in calm, try to be when I remember the words of President the elder Bednar. He's saying if you are in your job, you are in the job. If you are in the school, you are in the school. If you are in the
mm,
home, you are in the home, not in the school, not in the church. So if you are in the church, you are in the church, not the school, not the job. So it's a great advice for me. So sometimes we can't to divide the things. For example, in my job, currently, uh, you can see before me my desktop. Uh, yeah, and I am in home, so my job is in my home. So it is very, very hard to balance with the demands of
mm,
my wife, the demands of my children. And they are thinking, my dad is there, so
mm,
he is available for me. And this is not true. It's not true because I am working. So
mm, mm,
when I am out of my office, okay, I am willing for you, but not right now. So it's hard. It's hard, and it can affect our performance in our job. I think so.
I bet it's hard
mhm,
working from home and having your kids there because, like you said, they think that you're available, but you're not. You're actually working.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
mm. Can we talk about some impacts were talked about, or the effects of all that? It affects our productivity. Everything affects productivity in
Yeah.
every situation, whether divorce, whether family, whether relationship, they all affect productivity. I think it's a common effect in all that. Mm, Maybe we go to other issues in the society that are likely to impact workplaces of the future?
Maybe can affect the politics or politics in the country or other kind of problems. For example, this week it was a very hard week in Mexico because people is angry with the government. So it situation uh, promote farmers and transporters to close the all highways in the country. So the country was paralyzed 1 week. So the middle of the country was paralyzed 1 week. So politics issues can affect the work of the people, of the jobs.
Yeah, it's a very big effect.
Yeah.
Because even as our side, this side, we are now in campaigns, presidential campaigns. But this week, was it yesterday? But one, I was moving from somewhere to where we started from, the tech center, and I came to meet with Lalis, those people in Lalis coming back home. There is a particular person. Chaos was everywhere. First of all, those people rude. They get anything. There is tear gas everywhere. Everyone is running here and there. Things are getting destroyed. I felt bad. I was like, look at what we are going through. Eh? If that person is the one now who to become a president, how will it be? Eh? They are even using drugs. We didn't even talk about drugs. They are on drugs, smoking cigarettes, smoking marijuana everywhere. It was anyway a worse situation. I felt bad when I sat home. I was like, those businesses nearby, they wasted their time, they wasted their things. Eh? People could just jump anywhere in your business. So politics sometimes also is another effect. Runa, you have no, Lily.
Oh,
Maybe
sorry.
Lily.
I was listening to you.
Mm.
What one were we talking about?
About the effects, the other issues in the society that are likely to impact their workplaces of the future.
It just I think it just depends on what type of work you do, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my work is pretty chill. I drive kids to school and back, and um, we have uh, parents think that their kids are innocent, and they're not, and it's really hard when you try to have a conversation with a parent. We have this one particular parent that has her little boy is a preschooler, and she wants the bus driver fired because she told her son no. Like she wants to call a union and get her kicked off that bus. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. And she's like super angry because she didn't let her son on the bus when he got there and he wanted to get on because there was other kids in line. So, I mean, there's issues everywhere in the workplace. It just depends on,
On which side was
where you
right, eh?
work and what's going on around you to make it can affect you at work. So I feel sorry for my boss because she has to deal with this parent 24/7.
Mm,
So
mm.
she thinks we're the issue, not her student. So
We can also talk about the rapid technological change. This AI is taking everyone away. It's taking our jobs away.
The
Yeah,
technology?
yeah.
Yeah, I wish that they didn't bring computers into school. I think their students are not learning like they did when they were, our age.
Mhm, exactly. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're supposed to be studying on their Chromebooks or whatever they have, but they're playing video games or whatever, they can on there. They're not doing their work. They don't know how to write cursive. They can barely write their own name. They have the worst handwriting in the world.
Mm,
And they can't spell because they don't, have to write out their spelling words, 10 times each. So I just, everything
mm.
is computer now, and I think it's worse.
Yeah, very true. And in our country here, Uganda, they are raising costs of living and economic instability. Guys, everything is expensive.
Oh yeah,
Housing, education, eh? Everything is very, very expensive. So I think raising cost of living will affect or is affecting our future workplaces. You get like a job somewhere, but when you cost of living that side, you can't even manage to stay a year because of the high cost of living. Ah, that is it.
is
How
it
will
is
yeah,
Uganda uh more of a poor city or more of a rich city?
yeah, poor, very poor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not far from what, Kenya.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We are neighbor.
um, but I was doing some research and they said like if you have internet access, then you may have more money than your neighbor. And so I just wasn't sh everyone here has internet. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. So I wasn't sure how it was in Africa.
This side, it's very different.
Yeah.
Those those who have money have a lot, and those who don't have things are then worse. Can we talk about how do you guys think the workplace will change in the next 10 years?
Depends on where you work. I'm hoping my job will still be there. I mean, kids got to get to school one way or another. So I think it just depends on what you do for work, on how it will change.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, I think so. In 5 or 8 years, it will be the same because for me, it's better to work and doing home office. Uh, so I think so. Not change in some years.
Mm. But our side here, it's rare. Anyway, there are a few companies there, but again, they are very, very few. Most of the jobs you have to be on job. We have not yet reached that, like the technology you're having that side that you're working from home. Mm-mm. And how I think about the home working, I don't know if I can manage it. Like you said, you're like you're in office seated, but the kids are seeing you there. Anytime they can bang in, they can run in and say, "Mommy this, mommy that."
Yeah.
ah, mm. But in the next 10 years, I don't know. This thing of artificial intelligence there is the way it is taking us speed, especially this side. Like Lily said, people are no longer thinking. Nowadays, everything you just Ask AI. By the time we were glowing, I remember we could have at least an IQ which could sit and think. But nowadays our kids are suffering, and not even suffering. Anything they like, mommy, assist me the phone. They just plus anything and they get what they want. So this AI, and I also think employees will focus more on creative, strategic, and people-centered work. Ah, maybe that is it
Yeah.
for that day. Any contribution, any addition or subtraction?
No, this week was pretty easy one, I think. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, for me, all it's fine.
Okay, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
yeah. All right,
So,
you guys have a good weekend.
yeah, have a good
Like,
weekend. I go and send the link of this video.
thank you so
All right.
much.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Have a good day or good night.
Good day, good night.
Good day, good day.